They were working on your show.
Yeah.
So when did you get it?
Yesterday.
Well, earlier. I didn't get, well, we got it today. So you're gonna be about, maybe you'll. Fill out all this money.
Right. Yeah, check it when you go by.
You know, I brought you work. Not in January. No. We have a problem. Doing some things. They didn't say, worry about being take advantage of it. Yeah, exactly. See. The only people that can reach out, these are all have to be managed. I need to get this one.
No, yeah, I can show you.
Don't lose it. This is mine. Only covers. Yeah, that's what you do.
Because it's further than 5 days. Okay. I mean, I don't want to change that because you said there is one. Let me send you something. I'm gonna send it in my. You can always send it to my pen account. So let me just. All right, got it. You are getting the borough email, right?
Yes, I'm getting them, but it kicks back here and it kicks back that. Really, I need to kick that.
You what? No email? Okay, I'll have that guy reach out. I'll put that in my, the things to do.
That's what I was just asking.
Okay, you just need email set up on there.
Oh, everything?
Is that the only place that you get emails on your phone?
Yeah. Well, the license solution. Did you need a pen?
Call to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
United States of America. And to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Borough Secretary, can you please call the
Council Vice President Bernice Clark Dickerson. Present. Councilor Douglas Eager.
Here.
Councilor Bethany Johnson. Councilor Michelle Miller.
Here.
Council President Sean Hay Miller.
Present.
Councilor Michelle Roberts.
Present.
Councilor Walter Stubbs.
Here.
And
There's one announcement, the Borough Council met in an executive session immediately prior to this meeting, to discuss personnel and litigation matters.
I do not believe we have any presentations this evening. We're gonna move on to public comment. Who's that? We did get a.
Bill Hefner, 571 South Old Middletown Road, Media, PA, 19063. I have multiple businesses here in Morton. I have a question about it. Can a resident or somebody give their 3 minutes up to another individual who's not a member of the borough? For example, we have Chris who wants to talk, but is it possible that a regular standing member can give up their 3 minutes to that person What is the ruling on that with the borough?
So, I don't know if you remember the last meeting that we were, I believe, maybe about last month. We did not allow Chris to speak because he was not a resident. He was granted that privilege, but, since it was brought up by another non-borough resident, we decided to implement that rule.
Right.
So,
Right, that was him coming up there voting himself. I'm just wondering if, if that's fine, that, let's say Chris has got something important to say, if I can give up my 3 minutes for that gentleman, to them, it's off on my time.
Mr. Hefner, Chris was explained that he was told if he came to council beforehand and asked permission, he could be granted permission to speak. So we worked that out with Chris.
Well, I was
Is
just
that,
curious.
is that always at the, will of council if they want to let anybody speak at that?
Okay, I was just curious.
So
how
he
that
was
works.
close.
And then, the mobile grant, what is the, our contribution part, or is it 100% funded?
The more time,
I think you're gonna be voting on the mobile
you
grant,
voted that, but,
and
our engineer.
what is the more contribution to that?
This round of funding requires no match.
No match.
No match, that's good. Then the, Citadel, have we transferred any money back to Citadel yet? Have we transferred any money back
No,
to
not
Citadel?
yet.
No? Is there any plans in next month or two?
Yes,
Okay,
we spoke now about the committee.
all right, and the Fulton Bank, have you followed through with the representative?
We are still at that point where they're not budgeting. If you're interested,
So they're not gonna give us the,
right, at this point in time now. Not
so
yet,
are we now looking for a new bank?
not at this point in time.
Okay. And then also in the minutes is a separation agreement. Do we know what the cost will that be?
It's, the terms are 60 days of severance,
What would that number be?
approximately $12,900.
Okay. That's all my questions I had. Thank you very much. That was Charlie.
Mario?
Mario Smith, 46 South Morton Avenue. PA. The first item, was there an exigent circumstance that arose between the legally required posting of the agenda yesterday and the executive session that was held before this meeting? In other words, why wasn't it on the agenda?
The executive session doesn't have to be on the agenda.
Okay, but it does countervene, as you know, long-standing tradition of council. Next question. On new hires, for the current year, from my understanding, we haven't reopened the budget, so how is the money being allocated? At least one of these is a new position altogether. How is the money being allocated in the budget? Without reopening the budget, one of that is prescribed under the borough code.
We,
Yeah, so we did discuss this in the committee meeting,
so we're asking everybody. to participate
and we've
in
been
the
saying
meeting.
to come to
You'll
the
find out
committee
everything.
meetings.
But
so
it's
that-
being allocated because we have, received, money for permits that exceeded way in the bar. We thought we would get it.
Yeah, but you
From
still need to
DCI.
reallocate the budget under the borough code. It doesn't matter if it's discussed in the committee. In other words, you're just gonna make up another state law again. Is that what the answer is? And Carl, a good attorney is gonna sit there, the one that holds the law, basically is gonna sit there.
They're not, I don't know, nobody's making up a law. You know, ultimately, they can reallocate money from one place to another. I haven't been involved in this yet, but ultimately, you know, the budget is a fluid document that, you know, during points of the year, if there's, you know, no snow in the spring and, you know, there's excess money in the snow budget, then money can be moved from the snow budget into the road paving budget. I mean, I'm just putting out an example there. you know, but ultimately, council will have to determine where that money's coming from and allocate from one category to another, yes.
I remember days when you were quite the stickler, Carl. Next question, will Marty still be getting, will the borough secretary still be getting, full-time salary and benefits for even less work when there's an assistant secretary if they're hired?
The assistant secretary is in lieu of Marty's absence. She's not working side by side with her. There's not.
So
two
Marty
secretaries.
will not be working full-time.
Marty's job will not be reduced. Marty's
No.
doing more than enough. They need to understand that. But again, we will not discuss personnel issues and everything from before, but she has a full-time job and the part-time person will be doing things too.
I think I have enough experience to understand it all too well.
Please. All right, moving on to committee reports. Public facilities and infrastructure, Mr. Catania, I'm gonna turn that over to you.
Thank you, President. Under the engineering report, this one report that my report for the last month is on file with the borough. Most of it's going to be covered later in the agenda. For the building code official report, there are 13 building permits reviewed and 13 issued. Use and occupancy, one property was inspected and one UNO was issued, and 2 contracted persons were issued. Next up here, there's street paving and sewer work. The street paving was contracted with Moore Brothers Construction. They anticipate to start the work this week. Actually, it's supposed to start today, but it couldn't happen. And that'll take about a week to complete, and that's basically repaving the streets that were torn up by Aqua. It also includes 2 new ADA curb cuts at the intersection of Morton and Broad Street. Finalize that crosswalk there. Under the sewer work, this is in situ form, doing the work in the downtown area, the Bridge Street area for the I&I abatement program. That work's been underway for about a week and a half. They plan to finish that next week. Just to be aware that tomorrow night and Monday night they'll be working overnight hours. That's all I got for that. Sure what the next item on the agenda is. Says 2025 update all around updates and guidelines.
Yeah, so if you take a look in your agenda, there has been an updated hall rental application and guidelines moving forward as of 2025. And you will find that in your packet. And did you want to speak on this line? Or
Number
did you want
5.
to speak on that?
Well, and
Let's
Charles
take a
had a little bit more, but, obviously the borough is concerned about the situation with the traffic light at, the train station. We've been having discussions with SEPTA this past week. Mr. Catania's taking a leadership role on that and came up with an idea for a way to come up with a solution, that would reduce the cost and expedite the repair. And, you know, do you want to speak to that or?
You know, we've had several projects in the last month, and we do have a solution that would be a temporary, well, a quick repair to get this light fully operational. The agenda item has authorized the signal service to install a new conduit. I was hoping to have a price tonight, but there was, as of today, there were still emails going back and forth between signal service and SEPTA to understand the SEPTA insurance and safety requirements that are needed. So I didn't get a price yet. That's what I'll hunt that till next month. What we plan to do now will be, like I said, it'll be temporary to get the light fully operational. But it won't be a waste. It won't be a waste of time because we did apply for the grant to upgrade the entire intersection. The work that's going to be done now would be used for that future improvement to the intersection. I don't know. I guess everything else is kind of legal matters as far as the discussions between SEPTA and the borough as far as reimbursement for that cost that we're still working.
Okay.
Thank you. Moving on to finance and.
I have a question. Chief, did you get a request for no parking on these streets where the repaving's being done? No parking signs?
I was, I was given a list of where, sewer line work was being done.
Mhm.
But as far as a request for no parking, Dave C. contacted me today and said that he would let me know the schedule, when it's gonna happen, and what the request of the police department.
Yeah, just not that there's so many people that park on some of these streets, but just for anyone, you know, for anybody to know, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to Finance and Administration Council Vice President Bernice Clark Dickerson.
Good evening. I wanna
Good evening.
ask everybody, excuse me, I had some eye work done, so this light is really hurting my eyes. I can't see too much. I did ask our, Lori to read our tax report, and then I'll go from there. So you'll see me change back and forth between the classes.
Okay, so we don't miss it, there is a separation agreement that you'll be asked to approve in the motion section of the agenda. And then the tax collector's report, the balance collectible at the beginning of the month was $104,645.54. Less face value collections for the month was $3,899.58. So the balance collectible at the end of the month is $100,745,000.96. That's it. Yeah, the sewer collection is facing us 3,899, I'm sorry, the total collected. So, that's the. All right, so that's the, tax collected. Sorry, I've never read one of these before. Let's see. No. I think compared to these, I would try to get the Fortnite. You have it? Third quarter sewer bill will be mailed on August 5th. And then there's some proposed new hires for part-time assistant secretary, a full-time public works employee, and a part-time treasurer.
Okay, moving on to public safety. If you take a look in your packet, you should see a copy of the revision of the civil service rules and regulations, which we will go through, and you'll see that under action items. I do believe the chief is there to give release report.
You ready for that now, President?
Yep, you can go for it.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The report for the August 14th meeting. Our objectives, objective number one was to reduce retail thefts this year by 20%. Our most recent reporting period for this year compared to last year, it's equal. We have one retail theft compared to one last year. Overall, though, this year we have an 88% reduction. There were 229 building checks this reporting period, up from the 215 documented in the last reporting period. Objective number two is to reduce accidents in the borough this year. Our goal was to reduce the accidents by 20 incidents. For this reporting period, we had a slight uptick of, slight 75% increase this reporting period. However, there's an overall 32% reduction for the year. So because we had an increase in the accidents, I took a moment to review the accidents. to see if there's any patterns or issues or anything that we as a police department could try and do to mitigate those incidents. And what I found was that 4 of the accidents took place in the 400 block of Baldwin Pike, with 3 of them being vehicles trying to cross traffic and after entering the roadway. So it was drivers' habits, not necessarily aggressive driving, or it was just drivers' habits trying to cross what is already a busy road with multiple lanes up there. The one thing I did take note of is that the intersection of Waverly and Baltimore, now none of these accidents actually occurred there. But in the past, this year, I've taken note that we've had several accidents related to Baltimore and Waverly, which people are actually in Waverly to try and make a left onto Baltimore, crossing multiple lanes of traffic. So I'm going to gather the data on that and then speak with the Public Safety Committee about their feelings about the possible no left-hand turn sign, and then us proceeding with contacting PennDOT to get that done. So this month, or in this last reporting period, officers conducted 117 traffic checks, which was monitoring the area for violations. They wrote 16 citations and they gave 50 warnings. And that is my report.
Thank you. Can I just interject? Chief, if I could just bring to your attention, on Broad Street, there is a stop sign between Broad and Maple Street. And I just want you to know that people tend to just run straight through the street without stopping. And that's both ways, coming off of School Street and coming up off of Morton Avenue. So I just want to bring that to your attention, because I've had several residents say to me, how come the police are never here to see this?
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Yep.
I'll add that to the last night, the Public Safety Committee meeting was brought to my attention, their concerns about Providence and Highland.
Yeah.
So that'll be on the list, and the officers will be advised to put some traffic enforcement in that area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you, Chief, for looking at Waverly and Baltimore Pike. I think that is a very dangerous site. I've seen the accidents myself happening there. And in fact, my husband's one of those that like to make that left turn, which I vividly tell him, no, we're gonna go all the way around and come out. So we're going to the light, stop doing it. So I think that's a great idea.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna give the fire company activity report for July 2024. The company responded to 30 incidents within 6 minutes. The company was in service for 18 hours. Total response personnel hours 204, 6 minutes, personnel hours of 137 hours. High response of 13, average response of 7. Incidents consisted of 6 building fires, 12 automatic alarms, 2 motor vehicle accidents, 1 carbon monoxide alarm, 5 natural gas leaks, 1 vehicle fire, 1 investigation, 1 wire call, 1 oil spill. 23 assists to other fire companies. Property endangered was $400,000 or $400,000 loss, $400,000, excuse me, a loss of $8,500. The company had 4 details for 11 hours, 30 minutes, attended by 17 personnel for 40 hours of personnel hours. The company had 6 training drills for 14 hours, attended by 70 members, with 150 hours and 30 minutes of personnel hours. 2 members completed EVOC, Emergency Vehicle Operation course, for 16 hours for 32 personnel hours. The fire marshal report for July 2024. Oh, there's a back. We're double signing it now. My apologies. Flip that over if you have not. Okay, we have 3 personnel area, three personnel members who are attending the EMT school for 40 hours, 420 personnel hours. Individual clinicals, ambulance ride-along, and ER sessions for an additional 60 hours. 6 district duty engine, 5 duty engine assessments for 19 hours, attended by 46 personnel members for 171 personnel hours. 8 hours of engineering monthly maintenance, installed new battery operated ventilation saws on engine 13. And this report was Moves by Donald Holstein, our chief. Moving on to the fire marshal report. For the month of July 24, there are fire investigations. Highland Avenue, 608 Highland Avenue, there was an electrical fire at the above address due to support brackets from Pico's electrical supply line to the neighborhood that broke in one lead of the 13,000 voltage line drop and came into contact with cable and electrical lines supplying this home and causing an electrical surge to the above property. 611 Highland Avenue also was affected due to the above issue, causing a water service line underground to short and burst due to the grounding of the water line. There are 0 fire inspections in review and 0 follow-ups for any fire company reported issues, and this was submitted by Rufus Stokes, our fire marshal. That concludes my public safety report. Moving on to public health and sanitation and recycling, Councilman Roberts.
Good evening. In our packet, you should have received your July recycling report. And if I could bring to everyone's attention, for the month of July, the total weight was 11.90. And that is a failure to communicate. Because in June, we had 1948. So it looks like we're declining in our recycling. So residents, once again, I'm going to encourage you. I know it's not mandatory, and I know that we are creatures of habit, and I know it's easier just to get rid of it in your one-day pickup on Monday. But because we have this added to our contract, I just want to encourage residents to recycle. And I'm even asking all the council, if you can, please push recycling. Okay, and next, secondly, is discuss our rubbish contract. As you all are aware, we have a contract for 1 year. It's due to expire at the end of this year. So we now need to prepare a bid package. So once again, I'm going to ask, there was an oversight on my part as far as the committee chair. We should have met last night. So I do apologize to anyone that did come out and I was not present. But we now need to, as a committee, prepare to get a package. So most likely I would think Mr. Catania, I know you were involved in our previous contract for us looking at that big package. But we need to think about, and it's also going to negate on pricing. We all know that, and the volatility of the market. It's either going to be a 1 day, a 2 day pickup, recycling, it may stay, it may go away. Also a yard waste pickup. So these are the things that we have to consider, and also always be aware it is the bottom line, it is going to be the money that's going to be the drawer when we review this contract. So if you have any input and you want to express anything, you can see me. Let me aware of what you would like. I know most people would like a 2 day pickup. I do know that a lot of people do like a 2 day pickup on a Monday and a Thursday. But these are things that I want you to consider, because once again, we can't do it without your input. And we also know that me as a council person, I just don't want to obligate the borough and the next council does something and then I vanish off of this podium. So I do want your input as we go forward.
Thank you. Law and order then, Councilor Michelle Miller.
The only thing that we have listed is, and we're gonna, it's a motion that we're going to vote on later about approving the motor vehicle nuisance and abandonment ordinance. But I do have a question I should have asked earlier. If anybody knows the answer. I asked it at the last meeting or the meeting before about the new lights that we were going to put into the building for the rebate program. If that's been done, if it's being done, I believe there's a 60-day window on it, which should have passed by now. anybody has any information on that?
So we're still on the timeline, it hasn't passed, we've talked with the, gentleman from the local. And we're waiting for Beth Ann to come back, we still have to the end of the month.
Well, when was the 60 days started then? Do you know offhand?
I know, I would have to ask Beth Ann.
Thank you.
Community and Economic Development, Counselor Del Egar.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Just a couple updates. The website again is live. It's functioning pretty well. If there are any questions or concerns, if you have anything that you would like to see on there, anything at all you want to talk about the website, please let me know. If there is anything that you come across that maybe needs a quick update, let me know that as well. You can reach me via email. If you have my phone number, you can just shoot me a quick text. Updates usually don't take that long. So I'm more than happy to get those out there, but I only know about them if I know about them. So, you know, there's a lot of content on there, especially with the forms and everything. So, you know, if there's misspellings or anything, please let me know. And we'll constantly work on that to make sure it's all up to date. And there's a lot of things in the calendar too. So make sure you follow the calendar. We have all of our events plus some of the Morton Rutledge Fire Department events. And if there's anything you would like me to add to that calendar, please let me know that as well. Some of the events, you know, just need a simple posting and then people will know about it. The Red Cross Blood Drive is still, you know, on September 17th, 2024 from 2 to 7 at the Borough Hall. Feel free to check that out. You can sign up and be a part of something bigger. And then the Morton 5K is on October 5th at 9 a.m. So you can also sign up for that at runtheday.com. The registration is open, so feel free. We're gonna try to get some cool t-shirts with that and water and bananas, free of charge. So sign up for that, it's a good time. I think that's about it, yeah, but if you have anything that you can think of as far as events, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to post them and promote them as much as we can in the community. That's all I have. Any questions from council?
Thank you.
Excuse me, we got,
Yes.
with the Red Cross Blood Drive, that's also your health care because if somebody's going to do CPR and blood check, I mean, blood pressure checks and everything. So there's things that's coordinated working with you together on that.
Okay,
Get your full health.
great.
Okay, moving on to Parks and Recreation, Counselor Walters Stubbs.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Go America. Paris, we got what, 1,100 gold medals in the Olympics. And as I stressed that point, I wanted to find out where these people who got these medals from Pennsylvania, there was a Narvis person. And I reached out and I spoken to some of the young kids in our neighborhood. Where would you get the idea? Or where would you get the strength to participate? In my backyard. Oh, okay, in your backyard. I said, what about your playground? Oh yeah, we can have it in the playground. They can learn to become someone important to the community of Morton in their backyard and in the township's playground. So I'm going to continue to reach out to anybody that knows anything that could help. Matter of fact, as a young man, I think Shantae knows him. His brother named Dave, has a folded kicking touchdown signs. So I'm gonna get him to bring that so we can teach kids once again how to kick field goals. I'm gonna be reaching out as I was before to teach kids how to throw a curveball, teach boy or girl. I spoke to Mr. Brother here, Eager, on the Zoom. Average, the Zoom is like 10 a meeting. We normally have about 30, so that's 50 on the average between the Zoom and the audience here. We got a lot of kids in this community that needs bigger park and recreation. And as you can see on that sign, that's what we're gonna utilize our grant fund to start constructing. We will do as much safety stuff as possible. I placed paces around the neighborhood to the young kids. And they were drawing a circle around the objects they like, they would love to see in this community. I'm reaching out to our little boys and little girls in the community of Morton. And like I said before, I know it was talked down, but I am still reaching out for $3.65 starting in January of 2025, that we can deposit that one check into Park and Recreation to be able to, like we had the CPR class, they wanted $75. We could take some $75 out of that fund and teach kids how to CPR, how to save their grandfather, how to save their grandmother, how to save their brother. I want Morton to be able to be on the news, but on a good part of the news.
Yes.
We want them to be on the good part of the news. We want to see them chase a foul ball for Philadelphia. We want to see them playing Philadelphia baseball. 20 years from now, I'll be dead and gone. But they will be here, and we will be thankful for the community at this time, building a nest egg for them to take part of. It's just a beautiful thing to know that the community cares, like TV commercials. You know, 39 cents a month to save a dead dog, a dying dog. You know what I mean? I look at this commercial and I'm saying, wow. And then I look at Danny Thomas's hospital for the children. Anybody got a shirt from that hospital? Did anybody donate money to that church, to that hospital? Anybody got dogs or elephants? They got commercials about elephants. You know what I mean? I'm just asking for donations for our children. You know what I mean? So think about it. I appreciate that, and I know they would appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you got any questions, if you want to attack me, come on and attack.
And we want to also update you guys on what's happening with the parks and everything.
So, last week, a few of us did a walkthrough of Jacobs Park
Yes.
and along the fence area here, just to kind of really anchor down on what was doing bad in the park and what was dangerous for the kids. Chris had his event, and we noticed that with the clearing of the poisonous trees and things like that, it really just exposed a lot of like dangerous rocks and things like that. So what we did was we had William go out and caution off that area so that the kids aren't playing or trying to ride their bikes down the hill, which they often try to do. I mean, I did it, and we just want to make sure that we are responding to the concerns of the park, especially when having events at these parks, because kids do show up, and with the equipment and everything, there's not really much for them to do, but you know, the trails are popping up back there now and they can see it. So we did caution that off. So just be mindful of that. We are trying to take care of the park. There is a lot that was not cleaned up, that was supposed to be cleaned up. So we are working on getting that mound of wood chips placed around this area as well, just to make the padding safer under the equipment.
And if I may, I wanted to reach out to Brother Catania. Do you know anybody that needs firewood? Do you know anybody has the equipment to come over here and get that wood off the property at no charge? They can take the wood from the parks. If you know anybody that's able to do that.
No, we can't do it, Mr. Stubbs, because this is a
know.
liability, but we don't, you know, if.
What's happening is we have a meeting next week in Stillwater.
It is a liability.
They left the work undone. The work was not finished, there was unsigned contracts, unsigned agreements, everything. And we had them coming out and they're gonna access those parts, Sycamore and Jacobs. We're looking at that, because we can get on those unsafe parts. And that's why you have the caution tapes going up. And at this point in time, looking at everything, I think Ms. Lisa, your event, no, there's two, that's your event in Dickerson. That's being done at Jacobs next 2 weeks. That's it. At this point in time, nobody will be approved for part until we get everything fixed up and cleaned up. Because it is a hazard. We have trees and rotted equipment all in and out that part. So we're letting everybody know, we don't want the liability. We want you, your children to be protected and everything. But you guys had already put in for that, so we're letting everybody know that's what we're doing.
Brother Catania, you heard my question. Do you think you know people who disregard? They know what they know what they're doing when it takes them to bring that wood and chop it down into firewood. Do you think that's a good suggestion?
Top of my head, I don't know anybody.
Okay,
We'd have to find someone who's licensed and insured.
Right.
I'm sure we can ask around to some.
thank you. That's what I,
Surgeon or something, and see if they want to comment that tape. They might have some benefit to that, to collect that wood, but I'll make sure for you.
so the talk that I'm getting is they will be protected themselves through their own insurance policies if we say it's free. We give them free obligation to come up on the property and remove it. So if they get injured, it's not falling on us. It would be, I might, Mr. You won't. Do you? Did you hear that?
Yeah,
What do you think?
Yes, I'll answer.
No, I want to hear the lawyer.
No, but that's what we were telling you. There is a liability because them coming into our park.
If we make an agreement, like I said,
But we don't even need to, because that's why we're meeting with Stroberg, so they can finish off what was paid for. We don't have to do that.
we didn't pay them yet.
Well, yeah, they were paid. They just hadn't came back. They were paid.
I thought
Because-
it was understood that they had not
It
been
wasn't
paid.
because of the borough manager, Michelle. If,
The understanding with Strobers was that they were coming in at set times because the agreement with them was for them to be paid X amount of dollars and do X amount of work every day that they came. That way it didn't have to be rebid every time. And so if they have not been contacted since Mr. Stewart was here, you can't blame it on Mr. Stewart. They do know, and they should know
Because they
that
were
they-
contacted, they had several phone
They were.
calls plus emails, and we had
But you don't know that.
documentation. The other thing is, they
You don't
did
know
not
that.
do what they were supposed to do with Mr. Stewart. The other thing is, he was paying them on a daily basis. He did not have an
That's okay, I'm
agreement.
talking.
He did not have a contract with them. They were doing what they were doing, and we had paid out a whole lot of money for nothing. You need to understand that, and I mentioned that to you in our meeting. Strober did not follow, also Davy Resource. There's a whole lot to this grant. What was happening, they were being paid without the grant coming in. So there were things done that should not have been done. You need to understand that, we said that before. You already know that. We have to bid things out. There are no formal bids for a certain amount of money that reaches over anything. As we dig and dig, it was not done. This is what we're telling you. We're uncovering a whole lot. It has to stop. We can't tell you everything, but there's things happening. So that's what's going on. Strobers will be here on July 20th, going through both parks with us. So we can look at what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. I'm done.
okay,
Thank you.
all right. Moving on to the mayor's report. There is the summer social event, given by the police department, on August 21st from 6 to 8. Everybody come out. There's gonna be activities for the kids, refreshments, things of that nature. Okay, we're gonna move on to.
Can we add to that?
Yeah.
Mr. Hefner has agreed to donate 5 signs.
It's going to be 10.
Oh, man.
And I have a mock-up of a sign that these should probably be done tomorrow. They're going to be the yard signs, like you see the political signs. And I took, I have my graphic artist take what, James.
Thank you, Mr. Hefner.
And this will be the sign.
You're gonna have to- you're gonna always come next to me when you're in this work. You have to have a true one.
The other ones, I think if the officers put them out in front of us, they wall bar, major roads. I think we'll get some more attention. But we need to be out there by Friday.
These are great. Thank you, Mr. Hefner.
I'll let you know when they're available.
Much appreciated, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Hefner, for
Yes,
that
I'm gonna
donation.
be somebody from the
I know.
We'll get your change back to you.
I know exactly who I was speaking to.
When you want to talk, you might want to display what it's going to look like.
Yes, could we see the
I'll let the
signs?
chief do it.
That's the chief.
Yes,
That's
because
it.
I'd like to know what the signs are about.
That-
Mhm.
Put it on Zoom.
This is the flyer that was presented by the mayor for the summer social next Wednesday night. It's going to be events for the kids. We're going to have a touch a truck event where we have at least 10 different contributors with vehicles there. There's also going to be free food and free beverages for people, as well as mobile tables with resource information for people that may be interested from different social organizations in in our community. So with this mock-up from Mayor Hammack, Mr. Hefner was able to break it down. He had to take some of the language off to make it work. But this is going to be the sign that's going to be put out around the community. As soon as he gets it, I'll have my officers put them out in different locations. So again, thank you very much, Mr. Hefner. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
We're gonna move on to action items. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the separation agreement with William Stewart?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed?
No,
Motion approved. All right, do I have a motion to approve the revisions of the civil service rules and regulations?
So move,
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion's approved. Do I have a motion to reject, I'm sorry, do I have a motion to approve the June meeting minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
I'm sorry, I skipped over the motion to approve the disbursement journal. Do I have a second? No. Okay, I did. Do I?
The chair moved, or the president moved.
Yeah.
I'll second.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Do I have a motion to approve the ordinance for the 790 abandoned vehicle ordinance? Do I have a motion?
So move,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the updated hall rental application and guidelines?
I have a question.
Yes.
I want to make a comment. One thing I noticed on here and it doesn't break or anything, but there is a restriction on it that says no alcoholic beverages. We had been told by our insurance carrier that we could have people serve alcohol if they provided it was beer or wine, so just that type of alcohol. And if they provided a person over 21 who was going to be the bartender. Whether or not council feels that's important or not, I'm just saying that it's another rental thing. People have snuck things in, they've made mimosas, they've walked in with red cups. Different things have happened over the years. And so on and so forth, and just mentioning this, that it is a possibility. If it's important to anybody, that our insurance carrier said that could work.
I just met the car insurance carrier and it's not in the agreement.
Well,
And
that's what
mention
they told, that's
So
what they
I
had
just
told us in the
met, we just
past,
get the
that's all.
MOU. So where are asking that you stick with no alcohol beverage. If they sneak it in that, then they're in trouble for that.
Well, they had, okay, that's fine. I'm just saying they had said it in the past.
So do I have a motion to approve the updated home rental and application and guidelines?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, do do I have a motion to approve the hiring of the part-time assistant secretary?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You got a name?
I abstained.
It should name, yes.
Do you want to name her? Yeah. Okay, so that,
Anne Marie Jo.
Anne Marie Jones. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the hiring of a full-time public works employee?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We got a name?
Any opposed?
I oppose.
Okay, motion approved.
What's-
All right, the name, what was his name? Spurgeon King. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the hiring of a part-time treasurer? Do I have a-
That's an appointment, not a hiring. Excuse me. Is that correct, Mr. Ewald?
Yeah, I don't know that it matters which word is used, but ultimately, your treasurer. You have a vacancy in the position. It's a motion to fill the vacancy in the position of treasurer with.
I believe it's called an appointment in the ordinances, but for whatever it's worth.
I don't know if she would ever think I would just stand her. Yeah. All right, so we'll do that over. Do I have a motion to approve the hiring of a part-time treasurer?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
We have a name?
Yeah, are you doing, is that also Emery?
It's Mr. Walsh, I'm messing up his name.
Yeah, so having
I'm
one.
messing up his name. Okay. But we'll get you the
The
correct
whole
name.
family behind me.
You don't even know who you're hiring.
I know I'm hired. I said I messed up his name. That's the difference than knowing who you're hired.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you wanna do that?
Oh, excuse me, it's Washington. That's that.
His first name's Jonathan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're gonna skip over the interim manager. And do I have a motion to ratify the resolution approving application for multi-model grant?
Mhm.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Please take a look at the bottom here. This is your upcoming meeting and events, finishing out the month of August and entering into September and October. We're gonna move on to open discussion.
And I have one thing I wanted to say. I attended last Wednesday night at the PUC meeting that was held at Community College. It was put on by for Aqua. Aqua's asking for an 18% increase to residents starting in January. These hearings are really sort of terrible things because they don't give you any information. You can just go speak. So there was about 45 people there from around the county. Either complain about their own bills or making such statements that places like golf courses and car washes pay a much lower rate than residents, so on and so forth. The meeting lasted about 45 minutes and there was a number of lawyers there representing different offices of the PUC and one person who was from a consumer group. So nothing happened from it. People just voiced their complaints and their concerns. There will be other meetings. So if you're concerned about having an 18% increase, take advantage of these meetings, or there's lots of information that's probably coming in the bills, or it's certainly our state reps are some of the people that are informing us if you get something in the mail, make a phone call, write a letter. anyway, just wanted to let you know about that. It's a sad
Thank you.
thing.
The
Thank you.
rich get richer.
Yep.
Mr. Lee, I think you're first.
Thank you, Madam President. Michael Lee, 123 West Sylvan Avenue, Morton, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, United States of America. Currently, I believe there are 3 commissions here in Morton. The Civil Service Planning Commission, of which I am a member, and the Zoning Commission. My question, I believe Mr. Ewell can answer this. Does one have to be a resident of Morton to be on one of those commissions, or can a non-resident be on it? Generally, yes. Okay, thank you. And this is a public safety concern. Please, if you're crossing the streets, if there's a sidewalk, use what brains God gave you and use the crosswalk. I tell you how many times I've seen people, especially on the Keatron Avenue, trying to cross, say, whichever side, whether you're crossing from Wawa to the side where Preka is on, or vice versa, trying to go against the traffic. Please use the crosswalk. The life you save may very well be your own, as well as the other driver. You'll be saving everybody, starting with yourself, an awful lot of headaches. It may take you a little bit longer to get to your destination, but it's better to get there. Isn't it better to get there safe than to think you're, I don't know what's going on in people's mind. Like, you know, I've long since given up wondering, as my grandmother used to ask me, what ails people. I just think people in general are just crazy. But use what brains you have. Use the traffic signals and use the crosswalks. So thanks for listening. Good night. May God bless all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Douglas?
Good evening, Douglas Deal on 21 Silver Lake Terrace, Apartment 6 in Morton here. Just continue on from another thing about the traffic light at the train station. I'm glad that you're taking this all seriously and making an effort to try to eventually replace the light. But I think in the meantime, there's other things we can do to try and improve safety on the road. I want to thank first of all, Chief Wallace, that sometimes the cops do sit at the middle of 420 or Keatron Avenue at Silver Lake, because people have been flying up there, up that middle center lane. And I've been almost involved in 2 head-ons with people flying up that lane to try to make the left onto Morton Avenue. So I'm glad to do that. And I think we need to find a better solution than just having the cops sitting there. Like some places, they have sticks in the middle of the street to stop people from doing that. And that might help a little bit too there. As far as some other things there, can we try and get Wawa to put stop sign up at the exit to the Wawa onto our street on Silver Lake? Because people come flying out of there. And and even though my neighbors and everything have almost slammed into us. Can we please get Wawa to install a stop sign and tell people to stop? Because I think they tend to ignore the fact that there's people who live down that street. It's no cost, should not be any cost to you guys, but Wawa should be forced to put a stop. You should force Wawa to put a stop sign there before there is an accident in that general area. And as I said before, you know, as I finish up here, there are things that we can do, like, as I said, at a previous meeting, we can put an X on the road and put a sign up, do not block intersection at Silver Lake. And there's some other things along that, like we can ban left turns out of the Village Mall, because that I noticed a few times since I've lived here. There's accidents happen because people, that's not a safe place to make a left turn out of the Village Mall on to go down Keatron Avenue, because you've got too much going on. And I've seen 2 or 3 accidents occur at that location. So these are things that we can do to improve safety on that section of the road before, before we get to the traffic light situation. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah, we can look into some of those things. Unfortunately, 420 Kedron is a PennDOT road.
Yeah.
So dealing with the evils of PennDOT on trying to get anything done, but I'll talk to the chief. That is an interesting idea about the stop sign coming out of the Wawa.
Thank you very much. I think a lot of some Silver Lake will deeply appreciate.
I understand. And there's kids that have a bus stop there. and
Yeah.
everything too. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Thank you.
you are.
Michael?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Bugak, also 21 Silver Lake Terrace, Unit 6. And basically, I need to what my housemate, Mr. Deals, said. Oh,
No, that's
not.
You're good to go.
Yeah. Anyway, basically, I've also noticed, in addition to everything, I won't repeat them all here because you've already heard from Doug. Also like to basically note that right now at Morton Avenue and Keydron Woodland, there's possibly no street signs whatsoever telling anyone what the name of the roads are. I'm not even talking about the overhead signs like you see at Keydron and Franklin, just the ones, just ordinary street signs. And I know PennDOT got involved with that. But I just was coming up with today, I noticed there weren't any street signs at all there. And then back to the intersection for a minute. I just feel while the traffic signal's being worked on and stuff is working, they could just find a way that the left arrow go on if you're coming north on Keydron to Keydron Woodland. And you could turn left onto South Morton Avenue and toward Yale Avenue without having to risk your life or gunning it through the intersection.
That's the magic question.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem right now.
Yeah.
9 months.
In 9 months.
Mhm.
Okay, but I want to thank everybody and Chief Loss, want to thank you for your efforts in your department as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Huffman.
So after I have a few questions in regards to the trash, when is that decision, when is that required to be done?
Well, I would think that we need to, if we have to, ours expires the end of the year. So we probably need to have something soon.
What committee is that?
Except, yeah, because it expires the end of the year. We're done with our 1-year contract. So we need to know something that's, pardon me?
Committee called,
Public health and sanitation.
okay. Because I would like to attend.
Attend the meeting.
Also, I'd like to know what our average costs in ton, in cost per ton for the regular trash versus recycle.
Okay.
So I remember many years ago, recycle was like $300 a ton, because it's all special sort. And the regular trash was, I think, $89 back then. But again.
The tipping fees?
Right, because you got tipping fees
Yeah,
and then,
they go up every year.
right, and then you gotta know the volatility of the market too.
Right, I'm just
Right.
curious, when I get there. We used to get the disbursement journal and stuff in the minutes. Is that ever gonna come back?
In the minutes, yeah. So you still come in our packet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a time frame?
Yeah, we can make sure they're added. Yeah, we'll bring them back next month.
I'm sorry, when?
Yes, the next agenda,
Okay, good.
next meeting, we'll have them free.
Okay. And for Mr. Stubbs, are there definite plans that you have, as you keep reaching out? But is there specific projects you're looking to go forward, that you're heading to make things happen? Because apparently reaching out, I've heard it for a while, and people just don't, you have a small group here.
Right.
And like I suggested at one meeting, when we have the night out on the 21st, we have tables where we give away Morton t-shirts. I think we got a ton of them somewhere.
Yeah.
But then you sign up with your email address, because that way we can communicate to people to say, hey, we have this stuff, this is what's happening. And again, I talked to Doug earlier regarding to put a sign up on the website too. If I'm working like Edgemont, they have newsletters that go out on a regular basis. They have a lot of people that they communicate to. And that's the reason why I invested in the signs, because I like to see if that improves the attendance at the thing, because, we had the Juneteenth and we had the 125th, but there really wasn't much signs. I talked to people and some people didn't know about it. So that's why I'm just doing that, and I think we need to promote the email information so we can get the stuff out. So like when you have a project that says it's $3.65, you say, hey, I want to spend 15,000 for this. I need to get help. Please donate, and this is why we're going to invest in our project.
Thank you.
Street signs work very well.
I appreciate that.
Pardon?
Street signs always work very well.
Okay,
You,
thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Hefner, I appreciate your strength and your conversation. Thank you. Old lady.
I'm Cecilia Todd. I live at 110 Althea Lane. I wanted to just say a couple things. Thank you for the proactive actions that you're taking to reorganize the administration in the borough. It's appreciated. I was concerned that the disbursements weren't part of the meeting again tonight, so I greatly appreciate seeing where my money's going. And the transparency. I know it's a lot of paper, but I just wanted to say that. I wanted to acknowledge too, just briefly, that Officer Ian Kelly left the borough's employ, and he was a great officer that had a great presence in our borough. And I really appreciate his service, and I just wanted to acknowledge that and wish him well in his new position in Newtown Square. Let's see. Referencing events that are going on at the firehouse, Morton Rutledge Firehouse is a 100% volunteer firehouse. So if anybody's interested in becoming a volunteer there in an administrative or a volunteer capacity, please let us know. On Wednesday, Touch a Truck, the community event that Mr. Hefner had signs printed for, we're working, the fire company is working also with the police department, and everything that was mentioned before plus is gonna happen that night. So I hope everybody comes out. On Saturday, September 14th, that's the Dan Clement Cornhole Tournament at the Rutledge Triangle. The cornhole bags are gonna fly at 12 o'clock, but the borough's, the fire company is looking for sponsors, and we also need some teams. So if anyone wants to put a team together of 2 people or 4 people, we'd be happy to entertain that. Please look on the firehouse website or me, because I have some flyers. On Friday night, October 11th, we're having drag queen bingo at Rutledge Fire Hall, and that starts at 12 o'clock. That starts at 6 o'clock p.m. Saturday, put it on your calendar. Saturday, December 7th is Breakfast with Santa, and then that's when the fire truck and the fire department is going to go through Morton with Santa, the Santa sleigh. The fire department is looking for donations of water and Gatorade. And if you would like to donate water or Gatorade, please drop it off at the firehouse between 6 and 8 on Tuesday. Or whenever you see anybody at the firehouse, we'll be happy to accept any donations. And if you haven't already contributed to our annual fund, please consider making a donation to your 100% volunteer fire department. And we would appreciate our council members asking constituents that you speak to donate to that as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mario Semino, 46 South Morton Avenue. Quickly, a local was mentioned on the lighting project. Would that be Local 98 International Brotherhood of Electric Workers?
I don't know which one it was.
Well, whichever, I hope. They were mentioned before, and as I'm sure you all know, they are embroiled in a frankly astounding series of ongoing political corruption cases. So I hope if we are working with them, I think it's necessary, as I said previously, to have a memorandum of understanding that there's no quid pro quo for their work. If they want to do it on a charitable basis, that's fine, but they need to understand they're not getting any political aid and comfort on that basis, because that frankly has been how they've worked for a long time. Marty says she's not the open records officer. Is there an open records officer currently?
Bill was the last open records person, and now we're gonna meet to appoint the next one, and most likely begin this.
You do realize you're required under the borough code to have an open record officer at times.
That's why I
The
said.
reason this is important to me is that I have in hand a judgment from the State Office of Open Records in which the borough gave no response to a request that I had put in. They gave no response to the state office, which then found in my favor and required them within 30 days to provide the expected records. It's now been over 90 days and those records have not been provided. Is there some explanation or is there some law I'm not aware of that absolves you of following the sunshine or the open records law?
Mr. Semino, I'll meet with you afterwards and go over that. This is just been brought to my attention. Obviously, if I had known about the request or the appeal or the decision, I would have dealt with it. But
Well, that's. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know how you would know.
I don't
Anyway.
know.
Lastly, on the persons who are hired, does any member of council need to note a personal relationship with anybody that was voted on tonight to be offered a position with the borough? That's a no from all members of council.
I'm sorry, can you rephrase that? Are you asking like,
Does any
someone
member
being
of
hired,
council
do
have
they
a
have a
personal
personal relationship with
relationship
anyone?
that they need to disclose with anybody that is going to be offered a job with the borough?
Does anybody have a personal relationship?
No, I didn't know any of the candidates other than in the interview.
Yeah, I don't, maybe you can like maybe elaborate on the basis of your question, like,
No, it's just a general question. It's a standard question. And just since there was back and forth, I just want to say there's one person in this room who really, for longer than I've been involved, has walked the walk in working with the youth of this community. And I'm just going to embarrass her a little bit, but that's Lisa Lockley. And we all should give her long standing dedication to that when there's a lot of.
I don't understand. Yeah, like, what is that? Okay. Alrighty. Do I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor, good night.
Yeah, good night.
I'm still trying to figure out who am I messing with?